Hello， 再次翻到嚟咧，我哋嘅係 WCS 中信 MCS 嘅福音午間嘅聚會。哇，好快脆！今日咧嚟到咧係2022年最後嘅一次啦，亦都係我哋咧呢個午餐嘅第40次喎，原來。
係啊，冇錯。
冇錯啦。咁今日我哋好特別嘅，我哋咧今日咧就請到咧係即係去帶大家去到咧睇到咧係非洲烏干達呢個地方一啲嘅福音嘅工作。咁我哋一陣間咧就將成日交俾佢哋嘅。咁我哋就希望大家咧都能夠可以咧係誠心分享。嗱，今次嘅分享咧，因為咧我哋有廣東話啦，部分咧我哋有咧用英語分享嘅，因為咧兩位咧從非洲嚟嘅年輕人咧，佢會用英語分享。咁所以咧大家可以咧係唔緊要㗎，咁你可以咧有咩問題，佢就寫低喺 YouTube 嗰度留低下，你可以繼續嘅同佢交流嘅。咁咧亦都係喺 Zoom 嘅朋友都一樣啦。好嘛，現場嘅我哋歡迎大家俾啲掌聲歡迎下，好嘛？好，事不宜遲啦，請阿 Katina 咧介紹下今次我哋呢個嘅講員同埋咧我哋嘅主題，好嘛？
好，咁啊好開心啊！今日咧好特別啊，有3位嘅嘉賓喺我哋現場啦。今日我哋要講嘅題目叫做走過烏干達嘅貧民窟。咁我哋咧可能咧都冇去過烏干達，亦都唔知道貧民窟係乜嘢嚟嘅。不過喺呢個地方裏邊，竟然可以揾到主耶穌基督嘅愛，同埋咧好豐盛嘅恩典。咁咧我哋今日嘅嘉賓咧有3位嘅。咁啊第一位咧就叫做 Sunny 鄭躍培牧師嚟嘅。佢本身咧都係一個牧師。咁啊點樣去入咗去 Watoto 呢個機構裏邊去做咗呢個亞洲分會嘅總幹事咧？佢會講下佢嘅生命見證啦。另外佢帶咗2位嘅烏干達嘅弟兄嚟到嚇，一位叫阿 Joe， 一位咧就叫 Dennis。咁咧阿 Joe 咧就係一位嘅牧師嚟嘅，係兒童村裏邊嘅牧師。而 Dennis 咧就係一個足球嘅教練。咁我哋點樣由細個喺兒童村裏面成長，去到今日成為專業人士咧？我諗呢個經歷好吸引，亦都好期待，好嘛？咁不如我哋將個時間咧交俾 Sunny 帶埋佢2位嘅弟兄一齊同我哋分享。
Okay. 好，歡迎。
唔該曬。
Welcome Joe 同係 Dennis 同埋 Sunny， 交俾你哋。
大家好，我係 Sunny 鄭躍培。咁咧就我身邊嘅咧就有 Joel 啦，同埋 Dennis 啦。一陣咧佢哋咧就會分別講下佢哋嘅故事。咁我就會首先介紹下我嘅故事先。咁我係一個香港人嚟嘅，我就係我個背景好特別嘅。我咧就係嚟自一個親中嘅家庭啊。咁以前叫親中啦，而家叫愛國啦嚇。咁我爸爸咧就愛國分子嚟嘅，咁所以咧嗰個係講緊60年代咧，佢都係參加好多即係愛國嘅運動嘅，咁佢都係工會領袖咁啦。咁所以咧自細咧，我哋4兄弟姊妹咧都係喺愛國學校讀書嘅喎，學校名叫做漢華，唔知你有冇聽過啦？而家咧仲係好出名嘅。咁咧就所以咧我自細咧就係讀好多同中國相關嘅知識研究嘅。咁細個我要學普通話㗎啦，因為接觸好多愛國嘅資訊啦。咁要用簡體字啦。咁咧差唔多我去到呢個中3咁上下咧，就開始我哋轉方向咯喎，因為嗰陣中國嘅政治比較多混亂啊。咁所以咧，我爸爸咧就將我哋一個一個就帶離開咗呢個漢華嘅系統咧。咁我哋讀普通學校。咁咧就所以咧，我咧就諗翻以前咧，我覺得即係好似同呢個社會脫節，因為我哋係好集中係研究或者係愛國嘅嘢。咁咧就到讀書之後咧，即係出嚟讀英文學校啦。咁咧就一路長大咧，都覺得以前學嗰啲嘢咧都唔知有咩用喎，即係簡體字。因為我英文中學喺香港發展，即係點樣用得着簡體字呢啲咧？咁一直至到咧，我去到中4完咗啦。咁咧有人帶我信耶穌，咁我就嗰年參加一個福音營咧，就信咗耶穌。不過對我嚟講咧都唔容易，因為我嘅背景咧，我係愛國嘅背景啊嘛，就係唯物主義啊，所以樣樣都係物質嚟嘅，就冇靈嘅，冇死後審判，冇天使。所以對我嚟講咧，就係點解我會信耶穌咧？其實咧關鍵咧就係因為咧，我覺得啲基督徒咧幾可愛啊！咁我去基督徒嘅福音營咧，我覺得哇，佢哋好有愛心，即係我咧就好鬼串嘅。咁我又冇咩吸引可愛嘅地方，但係佢哋對我好友善嘅。咁我覺得呢個係好感動我嘅，因為冇咩人會對我友善嘅。咁咧，所以咧我咧就試下信耶穌啦。中4之後咁慢慢一步一步咧，我就覺得服侍 啲小朋友啊、初中生，我覺得咧就好有意義啊。咁差唔多我讀完中六啦，我咧就要抉擇前路啦，讀大學啦，讀啲乜嘢嘅時候，我心裏面咧就有一個感動，我覺得咧，如果我能夠幫助啲後生啲嘅，即係初中嘅細路仔，俾佢哋認識主啊，幫佢成長啊，鼓勵佢咧，咁我覺得呢個好有意思，就係咁樣開始咗一個好似係一個感動咧，就想服侍青少年人。跟住我就走咗去讀神學啦。咁我入神學院咧就好後生，我19歲入神學院，23歲已經做傳道人。咁啊第一份工啦，出嚟咧就係入咗一個廣播機構啊，就向中國傳福音嘅廣播機構。咁嗰陣我就發現有趣啦，原來咧嗰個機構咧，我工作咧就需要我用普通話，需要用簡體字。咁我諗下，哇！以前學嘅嘢冇嘥㗎喎。咁啊原來咧神就好奇妙啊！當我都未認識佢嘅時候，佢好似係預備緊我咧，而家咁樣去服務啦。咁就跟住我就開始參與唔同類型嘅服侍啦，青少年工作啦。咁啊一直而家 fast forward 啦喎，時間關係，我哋一跳就跳到幾廿年之後。咁啊直至到咧2006年咧，我咧就有一日咧，我就同一啲牧者咧坐低就傾偈。咁嗰個牧師咧就嚟自烏干達嘅，佢叫做Gary Skinner。咁佢走嚟香港咧，同我哋講佢哋非洲即係烏干達嘅故事。咁佢係一個白人嚟嘅，佢係一個加拿大宣教士。佢就喺烏干達咧，就喺1983年開始咗一個教會，叫做Watoto Church。咁咧就嗰陣有另一個名嘅，後來就叫 Watoto Church。咁後尾咧，佢哋咧就喺嗰度一路發展。我對呢個教會咧就一啲認識都冇。咁咧食飯期間咧，佢就講開，佢話我哋有兒童合唱團，全世界周圍去傳福音，同埋咧去分享我哋嘅服務嘅。咁我咧聽見兒童合唱團咧，我又係冇興趣，因為我喺香港咧次次聽見嗰啲 choir 唱歌咧，我就想瞓覺㗎啦，因為我覺得 choir 係啲好悶嘅嘢嚟嘅。所以佢就話我哋有兒童合唱團，我啲同事其他牧師咧就個個動高耳仔話，喂，有興趣請佢哋嚟香港，我就冇興趣。不過咧個個咧聽完呢句之後咧就望住我，佢話 Sunny， 我叫 Sunny 啊，佢話 Sunny， 不如你安排下請 Watoto 兒童合唱團嚟香港啊。咁咧佢話因為你冇嘢做，你太得閒。於是咧我咧就係咁樣被推薦咧，就係統籌第一次 Watoto 兒童合唱團嚟香港啦。咁咧就嗰年咧，我就2006年請咗第一隊 Watoto 嘅 Children's Choir 嚟香港，跟住咧佢哋之前又去埋台灣咁樣走2-3個國家。嗰次咧我嘅經驗咧就係，我覺得咧我大開眼界，因為咧第一佢哋唔悶嘅。你有冇試過見過兒童合唱團或者合唱團係唔悶嘅？即係除非嗰個係你個仔啫，唔係你個仔你覺得悶噶嘛？咁但係我嗰次咧，我覺得好感動嘅，即係嗰啲活力啊！但係我發現咧，就遠遠多過呢個，就係佢哋背後每一個故事，每個小朋友嘅故事，同埋佢哋所分享佢哋嘅將來嘅憧憬、憧憬。咁我覺得好有意思嘅。咁於是咧，嗰年咧完咗呢個短短幾個禮拜嘅香港之旅咧，我就同一班香港嘅朋友啊、校長啊、義工啊、牧師啊，就走咗去烏干達。2006年，我哋去睇下，因為我唔係幾信點解佢哋講好似咁奇妙嘅事，小朋友點樣改變啊，社區點樣改變，我覺得好奇妙。走去烏干達睇真啲，一睇之後咧，我就發現原來佢哋冇講真相，因為真相係比佢哋所講嘅咧係遠遠偉大好多，係好大規模，係社區轉化，係數以千計嘅人咧生命得到轉變。呢個只係一間教會嘅工作，但係好落實，可以咁講係天國嚟到人間。於是咧，我同一班同工去完探訪翻嚟咧，就覺得好值得再支持呢個事工啦。於是咧，我咧就再帶佢哋第2年又嚟，第3年嚟，慢慢咧我就自薦咧，我話不如我哋幫你 set up 一個香港嘅分會啊，幫你推介咧。咁我發現咧，其實咧唔單止佢哋嚟咧，係我哋認識咗非洲同埋佢哋嘅工作，其實佢哋咧係鼓勵咗我哋好多。咁於是咧，我哋睇下，例如佢哋去咗台灣啦，去香港啦，跟住我帶佢哋去埋日本啦，去印尼啦，去新加坡啦，馬來西亞啦，甚至去北京，走咗2轉北京嘅。咁我發現咧，對我哋嚟講咧係好大啟發。其實我哋咧亞洲人咧對非洲嘅認識咧係非常之有限啊。咁咧就啲人成日都問我一個傻問題：非洲嘅首都喺邊度？你知唔知非洲首都喺邊度啊？其實呢個問題問錯咗。 非洲唔係一個國家，非洲係好多個國家。咁所以我哋對非洲嘅認識就好有限。咁我早排咧，我入學校，我帶一個非洲朋友入小學，小朋友問個非洲朋友，佢話：點解你唔搽防曬啊？咁其實係顯示咗我哋對非洲嘅認識係幾膚淺啊！而我哋大部分對非洲嘅認識都係比較負面嘅。其實非洲有好多精彩嘢，而佢哋嘅負面亦都同西方世界同一個整個世界係有關，係好多國家喺嗰度咧係攞咗好多資源，令到佢哋有咁多困難嘅。咁所以咧，我就覺得咧，我哋希望咧繼續幫助Watoto咧，一方面發展佢哋嗰邊嘅事工啦，幫助孤兒寡婦啦。一陣我嘅朋友會介紹下佢哋點做法。但係另一方面咧，我哋想咧就係幫助亞洲嘅朋友，香港啊、日本啊、星馬，就認識多啲非洲。其實呢個對我哋有好多啟發。有時我哋搞完音樂會咧，佢哋喺香港咧，嗰啲小朋友唱完歌咧，香港朋友嗰啲家長就捉住個小朋友就同佢講：你睇你幾幸福。咁我唔係淨係想我哋香港小朋友知道自己幾幸福，我係覺得我哋需要有一個即係地球村嗰個諗法，即係我哋嘅今日嘅富足咧，其實係我哋有責任去分享俾身邊甚至遠方有需要嘅朋友。所以咧，我咧就覺得參與呢個服侍咧係好有意義。咁而我哋咧亦都能夠接觸到各種各類嘅人，參與我哋嘅服務嘅朋友咧，有好多咧係甚至去到非洲嗰度啊，去起間屋啊、掘個井啊、參觀探訪我哋貧民窟嘅婦女啊。咁啊，最後咧甚至有一個3日2夜嘅呢個safari 嘅野生動物園嘅體驗啊，俾啲動物近距離咁樣睇下人類，即係你係嗰個被睇嗰個。咁咧，所以呢啲體驗咧都啟發咗好多朋友嘅，亦都有唔少人咧喺呢個過程裏面就認識信仰唔係淨係一啲理論咧喺個教堂裏面進行，信仰係可以轉化社會、轉化生命嘅。咁我咧就講到我嘅故仔咧，就講到呢度先。呢個時候咧，我就想請咧Dennis 咧講下佢嘅故仔。請大家歡迎 Dennis。
Wow, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for having us. My name is Dennis. I'm a soccer coach, as they have said, and one of the 1,000 children that have been raised by Watoto from childhood. But before sharing my story, I would love to share with you a simple video. I always love to start my story with saying thank you. Webale in Uganda, in Uganda it means thank you. I want to say thank you to God for having used Watoto to raise me right from childhood. I joined Watoto when I was 13 years old, and it was not a nice time by that time. It was hard. It was hard for my mom, having lost my father when I was 1 year old. My mom, having had no education background, found it so hard to make ends meet, to take care of us. We are 8 of us. I'm the 7th. It was really hard. So often at time we could go to bed without food. My mom could do different kinds of work to see that she feeds us, but it was hard. She could do different work, but the pay was really little. I remember this time, among the stories that she tells us, where she was paid some little food to come and feed us, but it was so small to feed all of us, so she had to forego food to see that her children feed. Yet the following day, she had to go back and work. Imagine working on empty stomach from morning until evening. It was really hard. Therefore, it was also hard to go. It was also hard to go to school. So we had to skip some years without going to school. It was really hard. Back in Uganda, it was really hard. So I can't stop saying thank you for Watoto. That's why I normally start with that video saying, Webale, thank you so much. However, we come from Uganda. Uganda is in Africa. Africa is one of the continents in the world. Where do I point? You cannot point. Okay. Africa is one of the continents. And
Closer, the next slide.
okay. Yes, that is Africa. Africa, Uganda is in East Africa. And it is a nice place. It has got good vegetation, good animals. This is our capital city when it is at night. Remember that, at night. However, when it comes during day, it looks like this. Everywhere, people are moving, very busy, trying to see that they make ends meet. We have our common motorcycle that we use. I can equate it to our MTR here in Hong Kong. It is everywhere, so it can carry most of the things. However, I would love to give you a little bit of the history of this motorcycle. It is called Boda Boda back in Uganda, simply because the first gentleman that he saw this motorcycle at one of the borders between the two countries, he was like, what is this? What could we call it? Since it was on the border between two countries, he decided to call it Boda Boda. So since then, we are calling it Boda Boda. It can carry so many things, mattresses. It can carry even a cow. So it is really efficient. However, it's not so safe. Anyway, away from the city, the place is really, the different villages, the different homes are sparsely populated, distant from each other, but a nice view. This is Watoto, and this is where we grew up from. I joined Watoto in 2004 with my mom, having got that amazing opportunity to join Watoto. At Watoto, each house has got one mother and 8 children who takes care of the 8 children. This is the closer view. Each of those houses have got 8 children and one mother. Simply because Watoto as a local church derives this from James 1:7, which says that the true religion is the one that takes care of orphans and widows and keeps one spirit pure. So it is practical. Watoto Church is practically going out to the communities to see that it solves the cries of the community. Personally, I'm a soccer coach, and I love doing it simply because I have a burden on my heart that the way people have taken care of me, I need to also go out and take care of somebody else. So I have this amazing opportunity to use my talent soccer to see that I reach out to the different youth. So right now I'm giving leadership to the soccer program back in Watoto. Watoto has a program called Sports Academy where we use it as a tool to say that we instill the right character as we develop their skills. Not only that, Watoto also has Watoto's Worship Academy, where different children learn about music, learn about playing different instruments, such that each child is raised to be the future leader. Watoto, when I was growing up, this was always echoed and put in my ears that we are raising future leaders who, with integrity, who are not going to be corrupt, future leaders who are going to care for the community, future leaders who are going to have a heart for human beings, future leaders who are going to take care of their families, men that are not going to run away from their families, women that are going to respect their husbands, women that are going to care for their children, that are not going to leave their children, abandon their children. That has been sounded day in, day out in my ears. So I'm trying to say that I live that as I take care of these brothers and sisters of mine. I thank God that in 2018, I got an amazing opportunity to come to Hong Kong to do a sports injury management. I'm so grateful because that knowledge, I'm using it to say that I impact my brothers and sisters back in Watoto. I can't stop saying thank you to so many people around the world, like my sponsor. She's called Irene TC, right from Hong Kong. She sponsored me until I graduated with a diploma in information technology. I'm so grateful. It was a nice moment meeting her. At Watoto, it is an amazing place, as I have mentioned, that education is key. Education is key, and so many children, boys and girls, go to school to see that they can acquire the right skills, they can acquire the right knowledge. Watoto has built schools right from kindergarten up to the vocation center, which is so good, so good, fulfilling the objective of raising future leaders. As I've mentioned, Watoto, each house has got one mother and 8 children, which live as a family. My mom was so happy to see me graduating. You can see the smile. She was really very happy, and up to now, she cannot whenever I'm talking to her, she cannot fully express how grateful she is to Watoto. And these are some of the lessons that I've learned, that God bestows a crown of beauty instead of ashes. At first, things were hard for me, plus my other brothers and sisters. But through Watoto, I've seen God putting an oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. Always, I'm always grateful. That was a time when I was at school in Watoto, and this is a time when I've graduated. I'm so grateful. I don't know how I can express it further than that, but I can say thank you. I'm always grateful to use my skills of soccer to guide my brothers and sisters through soccer, specifically at Watoto Sports Academy. And I've seen different boys feeling at home, have the security that there is hope, feeling accepted. It is so awesome. It is an amazing opportunity for me. This is our baby Watoto. At Watoto, does not only take care of the youth, but because of the teenage pregnancy and other causes, in Uganda we end up having children being abandoned, maybe in hospitals, dustbins, streets, and occasionally the police calls on Watoto to come and take care of the children. And there is a facility called Baby Watoto where they take care of these children such that they can have the best nutrition, such that they can have a good start at the beginning of their great lives. I'm so happy that I can walk and have a journey with these beautiful and great future leaders. I believe that these are future leaders that are going to transform Uganda, Africa, and the entire world. As I welcome Pastor Joel, I want to say thank you so much. Start with the opportunity that we can be in position to share this. Number two, the different people that have come alongside Watoto to see that this becomes a reality. Thank you so much. We are so grateful. We continue to welcome you, to encourage you to come alongside Watoto. The truth is, there are so many other people, there are so many other children that would love to be like me, that would love to go to school, that would love to develop their talent. Thank you so much. God bless you.
It's such a joy to be here. And I would really want to recognize Jong Shun for having us here, for giving us an opportunity to share with you. My name is Joel, and I am a children's pastor back home in Watoto, and I pastor about 400 children on one of our Watoto villages in Bira, the village where I grew up from. I'm so excited to be here. Meanwhile, this is my first trip out of Uganda. And I'm so excited. It's my first time in Asia, and I was first in Malaysia for a full month, and I enjoyed quite a number of things. It's very different, the hospitality of the people. And after 1 month, I came to Hong Kong, and man, Hong Kong is such a different thing. The highest buildings all over, beautiful places. And I was actually at the Hong Kong Park. Yes, a few weeks ago, 2 days ago. And it was so beautiful. I really enjoyed. I'm enjoying my stay here. The food, I had the goose. Goose, it's such a nice delicacy. Oh, and you have dim sum. It's such a great delicacy. I'm enjoying the foods here. The sad thing is I'm putting on a lot of weight because of the too much food that I am eating. But it's okay. Thank you so much for the hospitality that you have showed us here in Hong Kong. That is me. And my story is a unique story of God's mercy, God's goodness, God's faithfulness. As I mentioned, I'm a children's pastor back home in Uganda at one of our Watoto villages. And basically what I do is help disciple children, encourage them to be the best that they can be, give them encouragement that God can do it for them. Majority of the children that I disciple, I pastor, are children that have quite an interesting story. We come from different backgrounds, but unique, come from broken families, abandonment, abuse, poverty, and God has placed all these in our hands so that He can do a work of restoration in their lives. But not only that, I actually go out to the nearby communities and share the Word of God with so many other children in our communities. Now, that is one of the schools on my right where I get to share the gospel with children. In over 11 schools, at least every week. And on my right, I get to go to other poor communities in slums in Uganda and encourage other children to continue going to school. Now, many of them don't have an opportunity. Some who have an opportunity at least will not have a pen or book. And when they go to class, they just sit, but they can't write because they don't have books and pens. So different church members who are kind offer us a few things to go and take. And the little girl that is trying to get stuff from me is one of the children that have been rescued by Watoto. And many times when I go out with them, I want them to learn to care for the poor as well. And so we go and share these things with them. They see how God can transform other people by using them. And that is me and my mom when I was young. And that picture reminds me of so much, good and bad. When I was 9 years, I lost my father due to AIDS. And Watoto was planted in 1994 after Uganda had gone through a strong sweep of deaths. Fathers and mothers of children dying because of AIDS. And at the time when my father died, it was just coming to reduce. And my father died due to AIDS. It was a very terrible thing for us. We remained orphaned, left me and my mother and my siblings without help. All we had was our home, but it was taken away by some of the relatives. So we had nowhere to stay. We were not able to go to school. My mother had not gotten education, so she could not get a decent job to take care of us. It was a very hard time for us. So she asked some of our relatives to take care of us. And I went to stay with an uncle of mine, but sadly, he was often drunk. And most of the time, he would come back home drunk and physically abuse me. I remember this particular time, he beat me so hard on my head, and I got swellings. It was night. He used the ladies' heel shoes, and beat me on my head. And it was very, very painful, swellings on my head. That night, I ran away and returned to my mother's village in the night, walked a number of kilometers to return to where my mother was staying. My mother, knowing that she was very poor and could not take care of me and my other siblings, I knew it was at least safer to stay there. Now, I knew I wasn't going to be able to go to school if I go and stay with my mother. But it was safer for me. My mother used to do laundry in one of the hotels, and because of the poverty, even that hotel didn't have machines to wash. So she used to wash towels and bed sheets and clean rooms for so many rooms. And eventually, because she didn't have any gear, her fingers started to get wounds. Now, I never wanted her to lose the job because that means we would starve. And I joined her at the age of 10 to start working. That was my first job, to work with her. And in the evenings, I used to go to the communities and collect water. In our countrysides, we normally don't have running water, piped water. So people can walk for up to 6 kilometers to get water. And I used to collect water, putting big jerry cans on my head and take water to the people, and they would give me some little food and sometimes a little money, and that I would take home to support us. Education was a mystery because there was no more hope to continue with school. Most of the time, I would be asked to leave the class to go back and look for school fees, but I couldn't afford, so I instead started working when I was 10 years. Now, God in His mercy, after joining a small group at Watoto called a cell, now in the cell, the members saw that we were going through a very hard time. And they told my mother, why don't you apply and become our Watoto mother? In Watoto, a mother takes care of 8 children. In the homes that you saw earlier, each of those homes has 1 mother and 8 children. Now, most of the time, the mother is widowed of very vulnerable. And my mother met the criteria. She was a widow and very poor. And the good news, she was told to join with 2 of her biological children. Wow, God opened the door for us. That is the door that God opened for us. And our stories started to change. In Watoto, we were able to get food to eat daily. Now, much as I wasn't going to school before, that wasn't my highlight. My biggest highlight was that I was going to get food, because we had a lot of food in Watoto. And later, I started to enjoy the other things like education, good clothing, medical care. My mother, who was often sickly, got medical attention, and God healed her completely. We became a very, very happy family. My brother and I eventually graduated out of school. I graduated with a bachelor's in finance, and my brother graduated with a bachelor's in public health sciences. God has been so amazing to us. Now that is me, before Watoto and after Watoto. In Watoto, the greatest things that I experienced was the discipleship. And through the discipleship, I got to know about Jesus and understand more about who he is. And I started to pursue his life, his purposes for my life. I felt a strong call to become a pastor. And even after graduation, God gave me an opportunity to go back to one of the Watoto villages and give pastoral care to my other siblings, to start to encourage them that God has great plans for them, that he who started a great work in them is faithful to bring it to accomplishment. And that is what God is doing right now. He's restoring so many thousands of boys and girls in Uganda, in Watoto, through the different partners that support the work that Watoto does. We are able to rescue babies, women. We have rescued over 5,000 women. Now, these women are in slums. We get them from slums. And most of the time, they have been abandoned by their husbands. They've had 1 or 2 or 3 husbands. Now, the reason why it is like that is they are looking for hope. And so these men get to have children with them and then abandon them. And so you find that this woman might have 7 children and she's still hopeless. All these men have run away. She's in the slum, cannot take care of them, sometimes doesn't have where to sleep. And this is where God calls us to go and meet the most vulnerable and bring restoration in their lives. And we restore dignity to these women. We disciple them. We start to tell them about the love of God. We train them with a business skill. In fact, we have a lady from Hong Kong who is a missionary that works with our Watoto Neighborhood Center. The neighborhood program is the one that we work through to rescue these women. And this missionary from Hong Kong, what is her name again? Victoria. She's helping us to equip them with business skills so that they can work and take care of their families. But also through Watoto, we get to have some of their children come to our Watoto schools so that they can get hope again. They can be discipled. They can have a hope for the future. God is doing amazing things back home. Again, that is me at one of our babies' homes where we rescue the most vulnerable babies. Some of these have been left in hospitals. Some, like he mentioned, are dumped at rubbish pits. Some are dumped in toilets. And some are premature and there's no one to take care of them because of the highest level of teenage pregnancies in the world found in Uganda. Some of the young girls, when they get pregnant, they are not able to take care of the babies. They are 13 years, 14 years, and can barely do anything. So they throw away the children, and through Watoto, we are able to rescue these children and take care of them. Each of them becomes a living miracle when you visit Watoto. And that is my mother, the joy of seeing her smile because of what God has done for her and for us. That is me. I recently proposed to my fiancé and I'm getting married next year in April. God has been so faithful to us. Oh, by the way, she's also our Watoto graduate. Well, Watoto currently takes care of 4,000 boys and girls and has rescued over 1,700 babies. More than 5,700 boys and girls have been rescued and over 1,000 of them have graduated. And you can partner with Watoto through sponsorship. For only 270 Hong Kong dollars, you can sponsor a child and transform their lives. That is one of the ladies in our neighborhood center, over 5,000 women that we have rescued and given a skill, and over 15,000 boys and girls of theirs now have a chance to a better life. And we thank God for all the partners that He has given to us all over the world that support the work that Watoto does. Please enjoy this video.
Some people ask, what is Watoto? Well, it's made up of 3 villages where they raise over 3,000 future leaders. Future leaders like me. This is my home. That's my sister.
Some tea?
Thanks, Mommy. We receive everything we need, so one day we can live our dreams.
Hey, faith.
Patient. Education.
She's right.
Medical care. And most of all, have a church where we celebrate grace. And we can have community. You missed this part. Oh yeah, we rescued babies. I was a baby here just like you. Watoto is a lot of things.
But it's nothing without your own love and support.
Haitian.
Hi, Faith.
Haitian.
Hey, Faith.
Our God is coming up soon.
You're gonna love. Hope to see you in Uganda.
Thank you so much for loving Watoto. May God bless you. Please visit our website for more information, www.watotoasia. Thank you. God bless you.
Okay, thank you very much for Joe and Dennis. Okay, sit down. Don't go away.
Thank you.
Just a very real story, and then they speak the faithfulness of God. Amen. 多謝 Sunny。
Thank you。
你代表香港嘅亞洲分會對佢哋嘅支持啊，我哋都可以有機會呢係再認識多啲，好嘛？咁就我哋嗱一陣間咧，我哋會繼續咧係喺現場啦，同埋喺 Zoom 嘅朋友咧，我哋繼續同 Sunny、Joel 同阿 Dennis 咧傾下偈嘅。咁咧就YouTube 嘅朋友，咁我哋咧就好多謝你嘅收睇啦。咁我哋嘅時間關係咧，到呢度咧，我哋嘅 YouTube 咧就要完㗎啦。咁咧就我哋咧今日已經係2022年嘅最後一次。咁咧，我哋跟住落嚟嘅有咩節目咧？咁大家睇住留心我哋嘅宣傳啊！我2023年咧同大家再見面㗎，好嘛？咁我哋同咧 just YouTube 嘅朋友 just say goodbye to the people behind the camera. Okay, see you. Bye bye. Merry Christmas 啊！係。
Merry Christmas.
OK， 咁我哋歡迎喺在座嘅現場嘅朋友同埋 Zoom Ivan 啊，我哋可以可以讀。嗱，你點解可以咧用？